My father-in-law was trimming out a house that he had built, and I told him I'm not making enough money to make ends meet. You know, one paycheck doesn't meet the other one. He said, well, you need to go in business for yourself. I said, I can't go in business for myself. I can't give up this income I got. I got 4 kids. And he said, I don't see that you're going to be giving anything up. You're doing it all where you're at. You can do it for yourself just as well. You just have to kind of buckle down and be careful with your money. A salesman that we bought supplies from, he said, George, if you want to go in business for yourself, I'll sign a note with you down at the bank for the amount of the tools, the sheet metal tools, shop tools. And then when you get going, you can pay me back. My father-in-law said, well, you know, I got that chicken house down there that I raised broilers in. It's a two-story building. And so he said, you're welcome to use that. You can use that as long as you want to. We had the first floor was warehouse, and the lower level was shop. And so we cleaned the chicken manure out, built some workbenches, and believe it or not, they're still using the workbenches out here in the shop. They're out there right now.
When we first started out, the company was, in trouble. It was hard at first, and very, very stressful to work together as husband and wife. And we knew, we had to keep this going for the folks, and there was a lot of pressure. But, once we got all the stuff paid off and started doing Dave Ramsey, we were like, it took the stress, out of working for the company.
I think this little piece of advice that my uncle gave us before he married us, and that is, when you're wrong, admit it. When you're right, shut up. And that goes a long ways in relationships. A big thing for us was learning where each other's lines were in that business. And both of you have things that you're better at than something else.
You got to know what hat you're wearing when you're addressing that person. Are you wearing the hat of a business owner and we're having a discussion about business? Are you wearing the hat of the husband at that point and we're talking like husband and wife? Or are you wearing the hat of a dad?
If you're going into business with your spouse, that could be difficult. That's not for everybody. So you need to have conversations on the front side to make sure that that's something you want to do, that's going to work for you.
I would say that you cannot have too much communication and just transparency when you're in business with your spouse.
If the business fails, you can't fail. So don't give up on each other and love each other through it, But sometimes we loved each other, but sometimes we didn't like each other dealing with it.
They balanced the business side of our lives, and then they also balanced the family side really well. Like, I think it would have been easy for my dad to be a workaholic because things were hard. When you grow up in a house that, nobody is, the king of the mountain or the most important, this is what they modeled, was that we think of others before we think of ourselves. And so when you run a company that way and you treat your people that way, then they feel that. They feel that sense of love and respect. They feel that sense of community. They feel that sense of family. They feel that they're important.
Beth has a super big, caring heart. She loves people. She loves nurturing people. She helps me to be a better guy and to see things the way that they need to be seen.
He loves people. He always loved the guys and working with the guys and being he's a very down-to-earth person. I've learned to love him even more, it's been 43 years. So we were just young kids, no, teenagers when we first met, and it's just grown.
My dad is kind. I would say that is the number one thing that comes into my head when I describe my dad. He had girls, which he probably wanted boys instead, but he just rolled with it, and he didn't do anything with us that he wouldn't do with boys. My mom gives of herself a lot. She is very giving with her time, with all her resources. If she was wearing a jacket and somebody needed the jacket, it would be not that hard of a thing to be like, oh, here, take mine. I've got plenty.
My mom shaped me in hospitality. From a very young age, she started doing breakfast meetings once a month, and she would cook this elaborate breakfast for all the employees. And she just has such a warm and giving personality that she just treated the employees like family.
I'm so blessed at what they model, and helping others, whether it be a refugee family or just the employees or anything. They model giving and sharing what they have. My heart just is full of joy and sometimes wants to burst.
Amazed that the business has thrived the way it has through the years.
When I think of my parents started this, and then we had the privilege to be the next generation.
Yeah.
And we were able to grow the business a little more. I mean, every time I see a Chapman truck going down the highway, or if I hear the voice of the guys giving an ad on the radio, it does something in my heart, just warms it, and like, I'm just so proud of what my parents started and what we grew a little bit more, and then to see what the kids are doing with it now is just awesome.